We'll be starting in about 13 minutes. Thank you.
Well, good morning. We ask at this time you remain standing as we face the flag for the playing of the national anthem.
You all may be seated. As we begin this special occasion, the School of Health Science campus in Marion is an integral part of the fabric of Smith County. Knowing well that joy and tragedy coexist at the same time, let us pause for a moment of silence this morning to remember the family and friends of fallen Smith County Sheriff's Office Deputy Hunter Reedy and the Smith County community in shock and in grief today. Let us continue in a spirit of prayer. We are thankful, God, for moments and milestones that are set apart as occasions to celebrate, to remind us where we have been, and to orient us toward a hopeful future. We do not arrive at this threshold alone, and we certainly pause to give thanks for all who have made this day possible. For those who had dreams and visions for the growth of Emory and Henry beyond what we thought we could be, we are thankful. For families who gave support and made adjustments to make this achievement possible, we are grateful beyond words. For faculty and staff members who believed in the potential of these graduates, who invested their time and skills, their wisdom and care, we owe a debt of gratitude. For classmates who have shared struggles, academic and personal, and whose friendship made the journey lighter, we give thanks. As we continue to celebrate this special day, O God, fill these moments with joy, purpose, and hope about the possibilities the future holds. Amen.
Well, again, good morning, and welcome to the Emory Henry University Graduate Summer Commencement. It's certainly my honor as interim president to convene this morning ceremony at Southwest Virginia's oldest institution of higher education. We are gathered here today to celebrate achievements of the class of 2024. For the Masters in Business Administration, Master of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling, Master in Physician Assistant Studies, Doctor in Occupational Therapy, and Doctor in Physical Therapy programs. Today's ceremony marks two significant milestones in the life of Emory and Henry. First, as I said, this commencement is our first as Emory and Henry University, as we just transitioned to university status 10 days ago on August 1st. Second, we are celebrating our inaugural cohort for the Master of Business Administration, as they will be earning the first degrees of the MBA today. So class of 2024, we salute you. You have made many sacrifices, put in many long hours of studying to achieve your goal of earning your graduate degree here today. We have no doubt that you will be true leaders in your chosen business and healthcare careers and professions. And as we honor you today, we would also like to recognize the many individuals who have supported you, comforted you, and celebrated your accomplishments and applauded your successes. You have successfully met the challenges along your journey because of the help you received from others. So first among your cheerleaders are your family members. I would like to ask the family members of all of our graduates to please stand and be recognized. The members of the School of Business and School of Health Sciences faculty constitute a second group that has played a central role in your success. These teachers, scholars, and mentors are the ones who have guided, encouraged, challenged, and prepared you to be highly skilled, compassionate business and healthcare professionals who will truly make a difference in the lives of your customers, clients, and patients, as well as the communities that you serve. At this time, I'd like to introduce the School of Business and School of Health Sciences faculty members who are with us here this morning. And as I introduce them, I ask them to stand and remain standing until all introductions have been made, and please hold your applause until all introductions have been completed. Faculty members from the School of Business, Interim Dean Marcelina Hamilton, Dr. Denise Stanley, Dr. Deborah Spencer, and Dr. Kevin Coydle. Faculty members from the Department of Clinical Mental Health Counseling, Dr. Stephanie Rutledge, Dr. Jessica Burkholder, Dr. David Burkholder, and Dr. Matt Terrell. Faculty members from the Department of Physician Assistant Studies, Philip Davis, Amanda Fleener, Ed Rosenbach, Dr. Joy Borrow, Dr. Misty Justice, Emily Bodfish, and Megan McReynolds. Faculty members from the Department of Occupational Therapy, Dr. John Jackson, Dr. Terry Gilley, Dr. Amanda Bird-Blevins, Dr. Whitney Ennis, Dr. Amy Evans, Dr. Lynn Umbarger, Dr. Stephanie Williams, and Dr. Hannah Cadill. Faculty members from the Department of Physical Therapy, Dr. Eric Coley, Dr. Rose Pignataro, Dr. Casey Savage, Dr. Will Bodfish, Dr. Christy Angelopoulou, Dr. Dustin Barrett, Dr. Julia Castleberry, Dr. Chase Edwards, and Dr. John Graham, who's serving as our faculty marshal today, and Dr. Ashley Medley. And also with us is our health sciences librarian, Victoria Koger. Please join me in thanking these faculty members for their dedication and commitment to excellence in teaching and mentoring this class of 2024. At this time, I would like to introduce members of the platform party. And as I introduce them, I ask them to stand and to remain standing until all introductions have been made. And again, please hold your applause until all introductions have been completed. Members of the platform party include Dr. Sharon Wright, our university chaplain, Dr. Michael Puglisi, Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. Ann Sluter, Chair of our Board of Trustees, former President Dr. Rosalind Reichert, former President and now current Chancellor Dr. John Wells, Dr. Marcelina Hamilton, Interim Dean for the School of Business, Dr. Blake Justice, Interim Dean for the School of Health Sciences, Tracy Wright, Dean of Student Affairs in Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging, and Tammy Sheets, Registrar for the Health Sciences Campus. Thank you. And I would also like to recognize the members of our Board of Trustees that are with us here today, seated over here. As I call their name, again, please hold your applause and ask that you please stand until we've completed calling everyone's name. So trustees, Board of Trustee members that are with us: Kyra Bishop, Katie Davidson, Karen Todd, and Donna Vaughn. Thank you so much for being with us. This commencement ceremony would not be possible without the work of the talented and dedicated administrative support staff in the Schools of Business and the Schools of Health Sciences, who are here in the audience, throughout the audience, and I would like to be able to recognize them. One who is not with us, Karen Alley, who is a major coordinator of this event, is at home with a family health issue, but wanted to recognize her even though she's not here. Here with us today, Natalie Blankenship, and if you'll please stand wherever you are, Nikki Carroll, Madison Medley, Jack Murray, Hannah Osborne, Carolyn Powers, Carrie Price, Judy Sweat, and last but not least, because no event could happen without Leah Prater here with the camera. So thank you. And lastly, I would thank our partner here at the Southwest Virginia Higher Education Center for the use of this wonderful facility for our commencement ceremony this morning. So now, as we turn to our program, At this time, I am privileged to introduce our first commencement speaker, Dr. Rosalind Reichert. Roz, as she's called, was Emory Henry's 20th president and first female president, who led the institution from 2006 to 2013. A graduate of the State University of New York at Binghamton, she earned her master's and PhD degrees from Michigan State University. And it was during her remarkable tenure as president that Emory Henry constructed the first new residence halls on the central campus that had been done in 50 years, Elm and Hickory Halls, as well as Brooks Fieldhouse and the McLaughlin Center for the Arts, again, all on our Emory campus. While that alone would have been an impressive legacy, Dr. Reichert was also president when the former mayor of the town of Marion, David Helms, and the chair of the reuse committee for the old Smith County Community Hospital, Dr. Henderson Graham, approached her about an opportunity. They were in the process of building a new community hospital and asked Dr. Reichert if Emory and Henry might be interested in putting something educational at the soon-to-be vacated hospital that we could use for educational purposes. Luckily for us, Dr. Reichert enthusiastically said yes, and the idea for an Emory and Henry Graduate School of Health Sciences campus was born. Raising the funds needed for renovation, challenging the undergraduate faculty to take a chance on new graduate programs in the health sciences, remodeling a historic building, gaining accreditation for Emory and Henry's first doctoral level program, and establishing the foundation of excellence that continues today in our health sciences campus was a reflection of Roz Reichert's hard work and determination. She left a lasting legacy of accomplishment, and today we're here celebrating her accomplishments as well as the 10th anniversary of the launching of the School of Health Sciences that then led to the creation of our Health Sciences campus in Marion, which has certainly changed the academic profile of the institution and has changed the community of Marion and has contributed to increased health care for the region and for the communities that we serve. Excuse me. So at this time, I welcome Dr. Reichert to the podium to deliver her commencement address.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate that very much. And thank you to President Fincher and the Board of Trustees for inviting me here today. I'm excited to be here. To come back to Emory and Henry is very, very special to me. I've always called Emory and Henry my college. I guess I have to call it my university now, right? But thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Graduates of Emory and Henry University, you are the reason for our being here today. And I know that you and your families are very proud of your accomplishments, as you should be. And as I watched you march into the assembly and take your seats, I was thinking that once again, my confidence in the future of this region and this country has been bolstered, because I know that you, our graduates, showcase the important connection that Emory and Henry has with its surrounding communities. You, our graduates, have chosen to pursue careers that will serve our communities. And I congratulate you on your accomplishments and on your aspirations for the future. You are indeed the heart and soul of Emory and Henry, and I salute you on this important day. Connecting with our surrounding communities. This is Emory and Henry's legacy, and it continues to be its vision. When I joined Emory and Henry in 2006, I celebrated this legacy and asked our constituents to dream big, and create a vision that would continue this legacy of connecting with our surrounding communities. I asked them to go in a bold direction that would serve our surrounding communities in new and remarkable ways. And with so many healthcare needs unmet in this region, we dreamed, as Dr. Fincher said, of a School of Health Sciences. Now, this was a big dream for a small undergraduate college, and we didn't know if we could succeed. But we wanted to dream big, and with the great leadership of Presidents Fincher, Shrum, and Dr. Wells, and the Board of Trustees, and so many others, They've carried out this big dream and, of course, added so much more to it, including the wonderful School of Business. And that brings us to today, to this legacy of connecting with our surrounding communities. And I want to expand on that just a little bit. I'd ask you to envision the area where the current Emory Henry main campus is. Many of you have been on that campus, I hope, and if not, you've certainly been around it and through it. It was the year 1836 when it was founded. It was the Edward Crawford Farm. And it was located, as you can imagine, in the many shallow valleys and the folded Appalachian Mountains at the headwaters of the Holston River between the Clinch and Iron Mountains. There was some level land, but if you've been on that campus, you know there's some hills. So there was some level land, and it was bounded both on the north and the south by two ridges that were covered with thick stands of oak and chestnut trees. And there was a wonderful spring, a limestone spring that supplied water, and that was one of the main reasons it was founded there. But 1836, I ask you to think about that. It was some years after the Revolutionary War, and the American frontier had moved further west. This region was the American frontier in the 1700s, if you can think back that far. And in the 1700s, when it was the American frontier, it was pretty underdeveloped. The people here were doing the best they could to ward off Indians and ward off all the dangers of the animals. 1700s, it was a wild country, but by 1836, the community had matured. And Emory Henry was founded as an outgrowth of local community concern, as the needs of the surrounding communities for citizens with civil, professional, and religious careers became important as these communities matured. So Emory Henry was founded to serve the local community, as you can imagine. And as I said, connecting with its surrounding communities is our legacy and our vision. 1836. I ask you now to fast forward to 2010 and the meeting that Dr. Fincher just talked about in Wiley Hall of our senior staff. The mayor of Marion, Virginia was there, and a man by the name of Henderson Graham that she mentioned. And that's when we learned about an opportunity to serve the community through the acquisition of the Marion Hospital, the one that was being vacated because a new hospital was being built. I really wish you could meet Henderson Graham. He passed away several years ago. But what I remember about Henderson is he had the broadest smile, and he always had a twinkle in his eye, like he knew something we didn't know, and I guess he did. Just a wonderful man. He asked us to dream big. He had the wisdom to dream big, and our vision to connect with and serve our surrounding communities was reinforced through that meeting and through all of the wonderful things that have happened that bring us to this day of the very first commencement of Emory Henry University. I want you to think about the lessons that we can learn from Emory Henry's journey to university status. What can we learn about that journey? And I have 6 lessons I'd like to share with you briefly on this important day for you. The first lesson, I've already said it several times, dream big. We dream big about having a School of Health Sciences, and Henderson Graham dreamed big about having a campus in Marion. You should never sell yourself short. Dream big for yourself, for your family, and for your community. So lesson number 1, I believe, in this journey is dream big. Lesson number 2, shouldn't surprise you, serve your community. Forefront in our minds in building Emory Henry University was always a mantra that we must serve our surrounding community's needs. Most of you have already committed to serve your community, but I ask you to always keep that forefront in your minds. Lesson number 2, serve your community. Lesson number 3, there's 6. Lesson number 3, be true to yourself. Really important. Emory Henry's founding to meet the needs of the local community has remained central to its purpose and to its existence for now almost 190 years. We've kept that in mind for 190 years. Be true to yourself. I hope this reminds you to think and act in ways that align with your own feelings and your own values. Lesson number 3, be true to yourselves. Lesson number 4, never doubt your ability to overcome obstacles. Emory Henry has faced numerous obstacles throughout the years, including many in the process of developing the programs and campuses that bring us to university status. Obstacles will be there. They always are throughout your lives, and your strength and your determination will support your moving past those obstacles, as Emory Henry did on his journey. So lesson number 4, never doubt your ability to overcome obstacles. Lesson number 5, this is one I'm sure you can understand. Seize the opportunity when it comes your way. Seize the opportunity. Emory Henry seized the opportunity to purchase the Edward Crawford Farm back in 1836. And she seized the opportunity to acquire the Old Marion Hospital in 2010. Opportunities will come your way, and you should never sell yourself short in your ability to pursue them. We tend to do that sometimes, especially females, I will say. But you have the ability to do whatever that opportunity puts before you. And so seize that opportunity when it comes your way. That's lesson number 5. And lesson number 6, I love this one because I tend to be someone who does this. Perseverance will get you there. If you ask any of my staff, they will tell you I was quite good at perseverance. You have to do that. Emory Henry worked for many years with an unwavering focus to become a regional university. You will encounter many ups and downs in your lives. However, if you keep your goals in focus and push through those downs, you will achieve your goals. That's the last lesson, number 6. Perseverance will get you there. These are all important life lessons for you, and I hope Emory Henry's journey to university status is illustrative of the wisdom of these lessons. Now, when I was a president of Emory Henry, students knew that I would always use poetry in my speeches to make a point, and they told me that they often would try to guess at what poem I might use. Dr. Seuss was a favorite of mine that I used a lot. Today, I'm going to use a poem from Shel Silverstein. Shel Silverstein wrote poems for children, as did Dr. Seuss. And if you've not read any of his poems, I highly recommend them to you. They're loved by adults as well as children. And the one I want to share with you today is Somebody Has to Go Polish the Stars. Somebody has to go polish the stars. They're looking a little bit dull. Somebody has to go polish the stars, for the eagles and starlings and gulls have all been complaining. They're tarnished and worn. They say they want new ones we cannot afford. So please, get out your rags and your polishing jars. Somebody has to go polish the stars. Somebody has to go polish the stars, and I know you have a lot of people in the audience who participated in polishing your stars, and I hope that you will thank them profusely today and onward towards the future. So many folks out there that have helped you. I love southwestern Virginia. It's a beautiful area. As I drove coming here down the valley, it's absolutely gorgeous. And here's a description that I used in my inauguration speech in 2007, and I quote from it only because I just love southwestern Virginia. Here in the highlands of southwestern Virginia, surrounded by the Appalachian and Blue Ridge Mountains, the connection between people and place is deep and strong. Here in southwestern Virginia, there's a seamless bond between the land and the people, and they will not hesitate to tell you about it. Here in southwestern Virginia, the land has always been a source of food and sustenance, but to its people, it's much, much more. Here in southwestern Virginia, the land has been absorbed into the collective spirit of its people, and it is here that Emory Henry College, the place of promise, was founded. And today, I can say that here in southwestern Virginia, Emory Henry University has become a reality, and I'm so proud of that. Because of its legacy and vision, that it's always been connecting with its surrounding communities, and because it is the people of southwestern Virginia who always get out their rags and their polishing jars and go forward to polish the stars. I hope you will always be the star polishers that you are today. Congratulations again. Congratulations for completing this part of your life's journey. Godspeed to all of you, and long live Emory Henry University. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Reichard. I mean, as you've just heard, Dr. Reichard was here that laid the foundations for what is today the university and for the degrees, the graduate degrees that those of you who are receiving today. I recently heard a quote that innovators can spark an idea, but that idea becomes a movement from the early adopters. Those of you receiving graduate degrees from what is now a university have helped us move the movement to become a university. And you've heard from the spark of the idea. It's why I now have the honor of introducing someone who has helped solidify the movement, the forward movement of this, and of the ability for those of you receiving the degrees today to be carrying that movement forward back out into the community. So Dr. John Wells was the last president of Emory Henry College in more ways than one. He not only was the college's 22nd president, who served from 2019 through the end of last month, he literally was the last president of Emory Henry College as they became formally a university last week on August 1st. This graduate of Carson Newman University received his master's and PhD degrees from University of Tennessee, but he's agreed to continue his work on behalf of Emory Henry by serving in the new role of the first chancellor of Emory Henry University. He'll continue to support Emory Henry as we have grown during his tenure into a university and transition to NCAA Division II athletics. Also completing work on another significant construction project that began during his tenure, which is the new Food City Sports Complex off exit 26. I'm sure many of you have driven past it. And just like Dr. Reichard before him, John Wells has seen the potential to cement Emory Henry's place in this region as an economic engine and impact for the community. One of the ways that has really played out was the inauguration of the School of Business during John's tenure. It accounts today for nearly 20% of our undergraduate student body, and we're privileged to see the first graduate class from the School of Business receive their degrees today. In order to launch a School of Business, it had to have a home. One of the things that the Board of Trustees did with John's leadership was to undertake raising funds and converting an unoccupied residence hall in the core of the Emory campus, the Carragher building, into a very much state-of-the-art, 21st century, forward-looking facility as we continue to grow and reach out to the community around us. So given all of that, it's fitting that as we bookend this transition to university and this impressive class of graduate degrees, I have an undergraduate degree from Emory Henry. I would never have dreamed 40 plus years ago that we would be seeing this number of graduate degrees, so I congratulate you all. And so I now invite John to come to the podium and deliver his perspective on this transition and on launching this impressive class into the community.
Well, thank you, Ann, and thank you, Dr. Fincher, for the invitation to be here today. It is an honor to see these graduates as they are about to go forth and make their way into the world. You're going out at a time that is an interesting time, and as the old saying goes, may you live in interesting times. And you're going to have your work cut out for you as you move forward. But here's what I know. I have always said that Emory Henry, this great and wonderful place, and Dr. Reichert did such a wonderful job describing its connection to this region. But I've always known that what the world needs is more Emory Henry graduates, not less. There's something about our graduates as they go forth that they make a difference. There's something more than just the mere gathering of skills. There's more than just intellectual development that has happened. There is something about being at Emory Henry that lends one not merely to the development of intellectual capacity, but also to the development of soul craft, of really devising ways to take the spirit of this grand old institution and to internalize it and to think about how a change can be made in the communities to which you're going. I ran across a quote not too long ago that I thought really did sum up the moment in which we are in. The great biologist E.O. Wilson said, "The problem with humanity today is that our emotions are Paleolithic, Our institutions are medieval, and yet we possess a God-like power with technology. And so how do we deal with that dilemma? I think we do it with graduates like the ones that we send forth from Emory Henry, who are prepared to marry both the life of the heart and the life of the mind, and to have an impact on the world that is around them, to take such a daunting quote, to understand the complexity and the depth of the situation that we are in our country today, as we look around and we see that we have a moment to really repair the social fabric. I know that Emory Henry graduates are the ones who will be able to do that. In an earlier professional iteration, I taught political philosophy. And as a professor of political philosophy, one of my favorite professors that I would go back to and quote and go back to her works and teach to students was the work of the 20th century American political philosopher Judith Sklar. And she wrote a book in the mid-1980s entitled Ordinary Vices. And in this book, she talks about 4 characteristics that will do more than anything else to undermine a free and open society. She talked about in those ordinary vices, she pointed to cruelty, hypocrisy, a misanthropic view of life, or a sense that we're not connected to the rest of humanity. And finally, a ordinary vice that you don't read much about in political philosophy. She called into account the vice of snobbery. I believe that Emory Henry graduates have the ability to go forth into the world and take ordinary virtues to confront those ordinary vices. The ability to go out and to really confront each and every one of those things. To begin with, the idea of cruelty. You're going to encounter people in your professional walk of life and in your personal life as well who seem to relish cruelty. They relish diminishing other people, of putting them down, of denying the sacred worth of each individual with whom they come in contact. But Emory Henry graduates, they don't engage in cruelty. They bring kindness where others bring cruelty. Let me suggest to you that if you dedicate yourself to the ordinary virtue of kindness, of actually seeing in each and every individual a person of sacred worth, created in the image of God, whose story is worth hearing, whose life is worth celebrating, that you yourself will benefit from that. Cruelty and all of the various things that go with it, a lack of forgiveness, a sense of vengeance, all of those things corrode the containers in which they are contained. Human beings and the soul of a human being corrodes if it holds all of those negative vices inside. We must create the virtue, the ordinary virtue of kindness again. And as professionals, I know that you will. And as graduates of Emory Henry, you will be in a great tradition of our alums who have gone out into the world and shown the world not just great professionalism, but also kindness. Judith Sklar points out that hypocrisy is another one of the ordinary vices. But as Dr. Reichert has already suggested, there is something to be said for having a life of authenticity. Henry David Thoreau, America's bachelor uncle, one of the great thinkers, literary figures, and philosophers of the 19th century, he gave us a warning as he went out to Walden to, as he said, live life deliberately. One of the first critics of mass society. He wanted to go out and be able to reflect on his own life and to live it on his own terms. But he gave a warning that I think comes back to us in many ways. He said, beware of all endeavors that require the purchasing of new clothes. What he meant by that is don't go out and change yourself just to have success. Don't make the devil's bargain of changing and trading in all of your values in favor of material gain in this world. It will, in the end, get you nothing. One of the things that Emory Henry graduates take into the world is a sense that we're not merely there to be great professionals, but we are there to bring virtue into the workplace, to bring virtue into our communities, to bring virtue into our lives. Be an authentic person. It's so important. Thirdly, Sklar points out the dangers of having a misanthropic attitude or not seeing the value of all humanity. I would argue that that can happen in a variety of ways. Sometimes we can fall in love with an abstract idea and forget the people who could be affected by that idea. It was said of President Woodrow Wilson, he loved humanity, but he hated human beings. He was so cold. If you want to love humanity, if you want to be someone who rejects that ordinary vice of having a misanthropic attitude, what that's going to require is for you to love the people that are around you. It's going to require you to see the sacred worth of each human being who is around you and to embrace them. The best way to do that is to invest your time in friendships. Invest your time in the relationships in your life. At the end of the day, the thing that has value, the things that are going to go on and withstand all of the ups and downs of life are going to be the friendships and relationships that you have. I can't tell you enough that in the choice between storing up material treasure in this world or investing in the relationships in your life, always choose at the end of the day to invest in the relationships of your life. Shakespeare had it right in Hamlet when he said, the friends that thou hast their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. What he's saying is keep the friends that you have, keep them close, and come to know them and cherish them throughout life. Final is that somewhat odd and rare observation that snobbery is an ordinary vice. Well, here's the thing. We're connected to all people. Everyone who we come in contact with, we have no right to look down upon them. For each and every one of you who is here today, I know that you have worked hard, and I know that you have put much blood, toil, and sweat into getting this degree, and whichever degree that you're getting today. But be that as it may, I also know that professors have worked hard to get you here. Family has worked hard to get you here. Having a sense of connection and knowing that we are no better than or worse than any other human being. We are folks who are blessed because we have had the cooperation and the support of other people. No one is the single author of their own life. Recognizing that we exist in a web of relationships and those who have sacrificed on our behalf, and living a life of gratitude has the ability to really enhance the life in which we live. The ordinary vices of cruelty, of hypocrisy, of rejecting and downgrading humanity, even in the abstract, and then snobbery. I know that Emory and Henry grads have the ability to replace all of those things with kindness, with authenticity, with a love of connection and a sense of gratitude for those who have worked hard to make sure that we have a good life. I know that you'll have a good life. One of the things that I like to do, and over the course of the years that I served as president here at Emory and Henry, and in the time when I was provost as well, is to meet alums who have had a life-changing experience at Emory and Henry. And you, as graduates of Emory and Henry University, going out from a proud region, a proud, grand old institution, you are going to go out and make a difference in your communities. And by focusing in on those ordinary virtues, I guarantee that you have everything you need from the classrooms to make a good living. But from those ordinary virtues, you have what you need to make a good life. Godspeed to you. God bless you. And let us at Emory and Henry hear from you, because we're very, very proud of you. Know that you never walk alone as an Emory and Henry alum. And I know that I speak for your professors when I say that it's been a privilege to take the time and resources that you have dedicated to be part of the great story that is your life, a life that I know will be examples of the ordinary virtues. Thank you and congratulations to each and every one of you.
Well, thank you, John, for your inspiring comments to us all. And I also want to thank you for your leadership as the 22nd president at Emory and Henry, now University. And thank you in advance for your service in your new role as University Chancellor.
Graduates, it is now your time. President Fincher, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory Henry University according to the policies set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Master of Business Administration. Would the MBA candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and Emory Henry University Board of Trustees, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Master of Business Administration degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereunto.
Would the marshals please escort the successful candidates for the Master of Business Administration degree to the platform for the formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory Henry University.
Laura Allison. James Patrick Bradley. Zachary Farmer. Mlungasi Kalope. Allison Nicole Pollard. Emily Caroline Richardson. Kyle Andrew Short.
President Fincher, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory Henry University according to the policies set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Master of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling. Would the marshals please escort the clinical mental health counseling candidates to the platform? Or, excuse me, would you please rise? I'm sorry, I skipped a step.
So by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Emory Henry University Board of Trustees, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Master of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereunto.
And now, will we please escort the successful candidates for the Master of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling degree to the platform for the formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory Henry University.
Carter Elizabeth Call. Nicholas Ryan Cook. Shelley Corder. Ashley Marie Keene. Marilyn M. Murray III. Brittany Jo Samaniego.
President Fincher, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory Henry University according to the policies set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Would the MPAS candidates please rise?
By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Emory Henry University Board of Trustees, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Master of Physician Assistant Studies degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereunto.
Would the marshals please escort the successful candidates for the Master of Physician Assistant Studies degree to the platform for the formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory Henry University.
Claudia Lynn Bellafiore. Noah Christian Cook. Victoria Elizabeth D'Alessandro. Abigail Carter Emerson. Marlene Alejandra Flores. Aaron Gardner. Lynette Chantel Gonzalez Sandin. Cambria Griffith. Brenna Flynn Heaney. Cassidy Ann Irby. Sarah Elizabeth Jesse. Austin Graham Kennebeck. Jordan Nicole Leach. Caitlin Melissa Lowry. Zeth Destin Manning. Zachary Thomas Manuel. Samantha Ann McCauley. William Vincent Murphy. Anthony Scott Ormandy. Julie Truk Pham. Anna Virginia Renner. Clara Grace Reynolds. Malia Salik. Jordan Elizabeth Schutz. Lauren Nicole Simmons. Vimretha Tipareddy. Caitlin Marie Zahler. Douglas Alexis Zamora.
President Fincher, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory Henry University according to the policies set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Doctor of Occupational Therapy. Will the candidates please rise?
By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and Emory Henry University, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereunto.
Would the marshals please escort the successful candidates for the Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree to the platform for the formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory Henry University.
Savannah Elizabeth Adams. Sydney Baer. Alexis Natalia Curto. Obi Egwatu. Cameron Fagan. Logan Gabrielle Farley. Haley Nicole Fry. Demarie Green. Caitlin Chapel Green. Carly Nicole Hedge. Irada Juanita Herrera. Kendall Faye Hyatt. Derek Gage Hill. Paxton Lee Ingram. Elizabeth K. Jones. Sean Patrick Kearney. Hannah Elizabeth Critch. Mally Lambert. Madison Abigail Lane. Allison Catherine Meek. Emily Page Meredith. Madison Taylor Owens. Laney Scott Reinhardt. Emma Brooke Saunders. Jessica Rachel Schwartz. Sydney Seaton. Olivia Elizabeth Simmons. Sarah Elizabeth Totora. Tanner Keith Wagner. Cydia K. Walker. Haley Wolf White. Laura McCall Whitley.
President Fincher, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory Henry University according to the policies set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Doctor of Physical Therapy. Would the candidates please rise?
By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and Emory Henry University Board of Trustees, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining unto.
Would the marshals please escort the successful candidates for the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree to the platform for the formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory Henry University.
Paige Elise Acid. Addie Elizabeth DeLue Baird. Megan Blair Beal. Kylie Bowen. Stephanie Erica Brount. I do too. Jared Michael Brown. Robert Brant Caldwell. Larry Joseph Cook. Samantha Michelle Crittenden. Ellen Kathleen Dobson. John Duffy. Abigail Hickman. Kaylee Webb Johnson. Luke Anthony Makoviak. Cole Ryland Maggard. Ashley Paget Masiskia. Anthony Onyekachi Nunduka. Joseph H. Knuckles. Timothy Yongun O. Courtney May Phillips. Tori Leanne Powers. Rachel Ramos. Maggie Crutchfield Robertson. Colby Blake Spencer. Alexa Dawn Sperling. William Robert Jerry Thompson. And Kendall Faith Varner. And last but not least, Mia Young.
Will all of the Master of Business Administration, Master of Science, Clinical Mental Health Counseling, Master of Physician Assistant Studies, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, and Doctor of Physical Therapy degree recipients please stand and remain standing? Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to you the graduates of the Emory Henry University School of Business and School of Health Sciences, class of 2024. Class of 2024, you have made your mark on Emory and Henry, and I know Emory and Henry has made his mark on you. Do not forget from whence you came. Now go forth in search of opportunities to make this world a better place as you assume your rightful places in the company of the distinguished graduates of this university. Godspeed, class of 2024. At this time, I invite all members of the audience to stand as you are able for the spoken benediction delivered by Reverend Sharon Wright. And following the benediction, please remain in place until the recession is complete.
As you celebrate your accomplishments today, I want to offer a blessing, first of all, for our new graduates. And I will start with the newly graduated medical and mental health practitioners. Blessed be your hands that will touch life, your ears that will listen to pain, your eyes that will see with compassion. Blessed be your voice that will offer words of hope when a diagnosis is overwhelming. Blessed be your practices of empathy and wisdom as you help patients and clients push through pain to find healing. And now to our MBA graduates, as well as all of our graduates today. Blessed be your minds as you problem solve, as you think thoughtfully and critically with customers, clients, and patients. Blessed be all of your hearts as you serve others creatively, justly, and with integrity. Blessed be your future, the lives you will impact, the support and visionary leadership you will share with your colleagues. And now to us all, let us all go forth from this place with joy and thanksgiving, with a renewed commitment to the value of the education of the whole person, committed to serving one another and creating communities of care wherever life's journey takes us. Go this day in peace. Amen.